All right, man. We got us a Pokimane editor situation. Is crazy. Shout out Paying with Zero. I saw the clip. I had to watch a video on this. I really wanted to see this. Let's check this out.
There's a crazy clip from Pokimane's stream going viral right now that I really want to talk about, but it also made me want to speak on a story I've never told about an experience I've had that's somewhat similar to the one she describes here, at least in
What?
terms of creepiness. And, well, now I finally have a reason to get that baby off my chest here, so that's gonna be cathartic. Let's dive in.
Many, many years ago, when I was like super omega active on YouTube and I was working with a lot of different editors, there was one editor in particular that I would work with a lot because his edits were really, really good. But he had one major problem, which was that sometimes out of nowhere, his videos would just be like a week or two late. Months go by, and he messages me out of the blue, and he says, "Hey, do you have time to talk? I'm ready to finally tell you why I've been struggling so much with deadlines."
In the history of the human race, I don't think there has ever been a good ending to the sentence, "Hey, do you have a minute to talk?" That always precedes the most vile shit you'll ever hear in your life. I can't even imagine a situation where you'd hear that sentence and think anything other than the most negative thing you'll ever hear is about to happen. Like, imagine you're in heaven and the Lord pulls you aside right in front of the pearly gates and he says,
Hey,
"Hey,
do
you
you have
got
a
a
minute?
minute to talk?"
Bruh.
Well, you immediately assume you're just going to hell.
Facts.
Like, there's just no world where that sentence ever precedes good news.
Tell me why he proceeds to tell me that the reason why he would sometimes turn around videos a week or two late is because he couldn't stop touching himself. I was trying to pick which word to use. To me, his, in a way, employer of many, many months.
Stop for a second and really let that
Yes,
stew
bro.
in your noodle. Let it marinate for a bit. How Coomer-brained must you be not only to do this degenerate act of...
Here's what's so okay. You know, Moist. I'm gonna let you get yo. I'm gonna let you get yours off, but I have to. I have the big screen. I have to talk about this. How Ratiga do you have to be? So you wasn't getting videos back. You wasn't making your deadlines, right? You're hired by one of the biggest creators at the time. You wasn't on your deadlines, and then you proceed to admit to them why you wasn't. So not only was you beating it, you were beating your shit to content, to YouTube friendly content. It wasn't like it's some OF content or shit she was gonna put somewhere else, or it's shit going on YouTube. It's for the most part probably family friendly. Maybe a bit of cursing here and there, but it's probably a gaming video. You're spanking your shit to a gaming video. Not only are you spanking your shit to a gaming video, you're doing it so much to where you cannot meet deadlines to edit these shits. Do you know how it's, bro? It should take, if you are yourself are spanking your shit, it should take you no more than 3 minutes to get the. Do you know how much time you have to be doing that shit for you to not make deadlines? It's not like it's it can't be a once a day thing. Because if it's taking that much time for you to get an edit, you gotta be spanking your shit crazy. Like, bro, what are we talking about? To a gaming video. To a gaming video. And then not only are you're spanking it to a gaming video, you're not making the deadlines, and then it's not even like she fired the nigga. It's not even like she fired him. He's admitting to her, as he's currently employed to her. You're admitting to your boss right now, "I'm sorry I can't do my job. I'm spanking my shit to you every time you send me a vid." What? You not hitting deadlines, you're spanking it to a gaming video, and then you tell her that you're... Okay, all right. I'm gonna go ahead, finish. You know what I'm saying?
Just fucking beating your meat to a streamer's gameplay footage that you're editing, but then tell her that the reason you're late on some of the edits is because you can't stop squeezing your hog to the footage that she sends you. There are so many layers to this onion here. Let's just start by picking apart the most obvious. Why? Now, I know in the most severe...
Thank you. What the fuck about a gaming video gets your rocks off, dude? Like, what? Oh, like, she's playing, bro, she's playing Among Us. I got a stiffy. Because that's when she was mainly popping on YouTube, bro. And those were the Among Us days, because I was watching her. I was watching her. I was watching Distinguished Toast. I was watching all them niggas back in the Among Us days. So I know that's what she was dropping. Among Us? Come on, nigga.
Cases of porn addicts, they'll sometimes try and communicate directly to the porn star.
It's disguised? I thought it was distinguished. I don't know. I haven't watched a nigga in a while. But it was Toast. I never even call a nigga by his full name. It was Toast. But it was Toast. It was Steven. It was DK. It was all of them. I was watching them because I would turn the stream on and get mad work done. I ain't gonna lie. I used to love those streams because it was the same shit. It's kind of like watching, I don't know. It's like, it just helped me get mad edits done because I knew I really wasn't missing nothing, but it was something fun to have in the background as like I listened to and edit. You know what I'm saying? It was one of those streams like where I can turn on and work to. I used to love those shits, bro.
About like leaving comments or sending messages or whatever, and that's always the saddest shit you'll ever see. That'll bring a tear to even the strongest man's eyes. Occasionally you'll see those moments where dudes try and directly communicate to the porn star, leaving comments on their posts saying things like, "Can't wait to watch this one when I'm off work," or "When my wife goes to bed, that's when the bad boy will play. Thanks for providing me with tonight's entertainment," whatever. Like just leaving these desperate posts, you know, cock in hand, giving a salute, like, "Thank you, madame, for your service. This will be a legendary gooning sesh." But even in those cases, they're communicating with someone they don't know. This guy was her editor for many months. And he was not...
Bro, it's like, you were getting paid. That's what blows my mind, is you were getting paid. So to you, getting a nut off was more important than getting paid. And then telling the person that's paying you, I was nutting to you. What the fuck are we talking about? I'm literally handing you money out my pocket. And you're telling me, I'm giving you leeway. You've been late. Multiple times, I'm giving you leeway because you're a good editor, and you're telling me you haven't been editing because you're beating to my shit. Like, I can't wrap my head around this, like, at all.
Only jerking off to the content he was being sent, which was just gameplay videos, I imagine, or, like, just chatting stream moments. Nothing even sexual. And he was still choking the chicken to it, fucking playing the skin flute, and then had the gall to tell her that he was doing that, is just incomprehensibly unhinged. She was his boss. She was employing him. So he basically went right through HR, bypassed that protocol, went straight to the top of the food chain, kicked in the door, and said, "Listen, boss, I'm fucking obliterating my wiener, and what are you gonna do about it? That's why I've been late on my deadlines." Like, I don't think he came in with that energy. I bet he was, like, super shy about it. He was probably like, "Oh, Pokimane, so I know I've been kind of late recently, but it's only because I was..."
Like, what, bro? Why do you think that's okay to tell somebody? Like, even if you gonna do that, nigga, lie. For the love of God, lie. Why would you not lie? Family issues. Somebody's got an illness. I just got diabetes. something. Lie, nigga. Nigga, lie. Lie. For the love of God, fucking lie. Why would you not lie? like, what the fuck? Did you think she was gonna be like, oh, that's so sweet? Nigga, you're costing me money because you can't stop beating your meat? I don't give a fuck about, like, what the fuck did you think you was gonna gain from telling her that? Yo, you can't make this shit up, bro.
Ooh, how do you say jerking off to your work?
When I tell you I've never halted a conversation so fast, because I'm like, you are the person that I send like hours of footage to. I don't want to know what you're jacking it to. I don't want to know more. I shouldn't even know how much I know right now. I shouldn't know.
I'd actually argue that it's better she did know this, no matter how awful it is. But that way she can get the fuck away from this.
Yeah, hell nah, yeah. I'm glad he told you. Cause get the fuck, yeah, bro, removing your access from my Google Drive, you'll never get any more footage from me. But the fact that you told her, like, I'm glad that she knows, but the fact that you told her, you got to be the dumbest nigga on the planet.
This weirdo ASAP, just say, take a hike, Buster. This is fucking terrible.
But I felt so bad. So when he's like, you know, like, this is like an addiction of mine, I genuinely felt really, really bad. So I still paid him for months. What the hell do I do? Fire him? Am I even allowed to fire someone because they're...
That's definitely towards the top of the list for the best reasons to fire someone.
Nah,
that
facts.
actually might be reason number one.
I would, boy, like, I know Majin be trolling, but he ever say, I'm like, you dead ass? Oh no. That automatic payment you get every week? Cooked. As soon as I seen the text message, go into my bank account, turning that automatic payment right the fuck off. Removing your access from all my YouTube channels right the fuck now. Blocking your number. Don't ever text me again. Like, that's crazy. She better than me. Now, granted, some people do have an addiction. But have an addiction somewhere else, nigga. If you, like, my thing is, if you're telling me you ain't hitting the deadlines because you're beating your meat too much, hey, I don't care to know that. If that's a problem you got with your shelf, all right, cool. You know what I'm saying? But if you was doing it to some actual prawn, some actual shit that even, like, that you're supposed to even beat to, I'm not gonna shame you for that. Because, yeah, you got an addiction. It's, you know, get yourself some help, twin. You know what I'm saying? You can still edit my content, you know, just, I don't want to hear about it. Just get that shit fixed. You feel me? But telling me you're doing it to me? Like, it's like you're like, you gotta lock in, bruh.
I don't know why you could go ahead and can somebody. Because they can't stop fucking beating their cock to you, their employer. And they're also not doing their job well by being 1 to 2 weeks late. Which, by the way, is a long time of just fucking gooning here. This
Thank
degenerate
you. Thank you. It's not like it's like once in a blue or, you know what I'm saying? You're a week or 2 weeks late because you're beating your shit. Not a day. None of that. None of that. You're not saying, oh, I'm a week or two late because there's too much content or not. I'm beating my shit. So you can handle the workload. You just can't handle your load. You can't stop beating. You feel me? Like, what are we talking about? Hell no. Fire that. You should have been fired that nigga,
miss
Pokey.
his deadlines by a week or even up to 2 weeks because he was obsessively polishing his scepter to his employer. You 100% can and should fire someone like...
Like, is it, like, I'm concerned because, like, did you get the footage and then just, like, nonstop for a week? Or did you like get the footage, edit a little bit, beat, edit a little bit, beat, edit like how the fuck did this time end up a week? 2 weeks? Yo, 2 weeks of beating is insane.
Like this. It's not like the Better Business Bureau is going to defend him. You're not going to have agents show up at your door knocking and be like, hey, listen, we know what happened here. You discriminated against this kind, gentle sir. You fired him just because he was obsessively masturbating to you. Well, I'll have you know this is a free country, ma'am. This is a civilized society. You can't fire someone for that. There's no crime. What is the charge? Busting a nut? An immaculate, gooey nut? This is democracy manifest. Like that just wouldn't happen. But I actually understand why she was hesitant to do that. And this is where I'm going to get into a story I don't think I've ever told. I'm pretty sure I haven't. Where
I don't get why she was hesitant.
Somewhat similar happened a long time ago. Not to this level, but something closely related. So a while back, I used to just accept any voice acting role I was offered by any human being with a pulse on the planet. If they said they needed voice lines done, I would do them for free just because I really enjoyed doing it. It's actually how I met Jackson, and if you have ever watched the official podcast, you'll know that our X-Men origin story between Jackson and I's friendship is that Jackson actually scammed me through this process.
What?
He sent me an email asking if I'd be down to do voice work for his upcoming game, and then sent me like some in-game screenshots and promotional screenshots that were actually just Dark Souls images that he photoshopped to fit his game style that he tried to sell me on. I was like, yeah, fuck yeah, I'm definitely down to do voice work. And it turns out he never had that game. He just wanted to play games together. And we did.
I mean, hey.
And ended up becoming extremely close friends. And now we make God Slap together. Like, he's been a friend of mine for almost a decade now. And it came from that. But there's definitely a dark side to that. The Sith Lords definitely did exploit that very stupid thing I used to do. Just accepting any voice acting roles ever from anybody. So I think this was after I had met Jackson and after we were friends. I can't quite remember the exact chronological timeline here, but I received a very interesting email from a very peculiar man that under any other circumstances probably would have triggered red flags in a sensible person's mind. But for me, I saw the word like voice acting opportunity and I was like, I'm in. Say no more. So I emailed him back saying that I was absolutely down to do this and when should we get to work on it. So we communicated back and forth a little bit and eventually set up a Skype call because this is when Skype was still popular. I think one of the best things that's happened in modern day is that Skype has died. That was legitimately just like fucking official malware. That was the worst program that ever saw success, and I am embarrassed that it ever got as popular as it did. But this was a different time and day back then. So we went in Skype and we had our first voice call a couple days after that initial email came through. And it wasn't like super weird. He conducted himself pretty professionally. He was trying to tell me about the game. I don't remember all the details around it. It was a game that never was going to happen though. It was unbelievably ambitious. It was some kind of like MMO hack and slash with like a super deep branching plot lines all made by him, the solo dev. He was just spamming every buzzword he could about this game, but again, it didn't matter to me because it was voice acting work and I wanted to get the reps in.
Okay.
And so I just said, yeah, like I'm super on board. Let's stay in contact. You can send me the script and whatever else you need. And that was kind of the end of our like introductory call. And man, did I open Pandora's box. Pretty much immediately after that call, he would start messaging me on Skype often. And it wasn't about the project all the time. Sometimes it was just about his day, which I would engage with. I'd be like, oh, it's really interesting to hear about how your day's been going. Thanks so much for sharing. And then he'd start...
See, listen. I love you niggas. I love you niggas, right? Y'all my dogs. But this is sometimes why I don't open DMs. This right here is sometimes why I don't open DMs. Because sometimes I'll respond to a DM and niggas get to like DMing me every day, sending me reels like we're best friends, and I'm like, you know, don't, it's like I respond, you know what I'm saying? Or you DM me, I might like it, but I can't always respond. But you talking to yourself every day in my DMs and DMing me every day, expecting me to respond, is going to get you either blocked or restricted. Because why? I feel like at that point, you're building a parasocial relationship with yourself in my DMs, and I don't like that. You think you have an open line of communication to me, and I don't, you know what I'm saying? Do I reply to your snap too much? Nah. No. It's never, it's like, if, like, it's, I'll let you know if it's ever too much. Or I'll just block you. But if you see you're not blocked, don't worry about it. You're good. You're Gucci. But like, it's to the point where I've opened a DM request from somebody once, and then they tried calling me on Instagram. Don't you ever fucking call me on Instagram. What the fuck what are you doing? Like, you mentioned me in your story and I liked it and I reposted the story. I'm not, you know what I mean? Don't, like, shit like that. Who the fuck calls on Insta? I've been called on Insta more than once, bro. I've been called on Insta more than once. So, like, that's when you can call people on IG. Yeah, you can call or FaceTime over Instagram. So, like, that's, at that point, it's like, yeah, no. How can you call on Insta? You gotta go through DMs. It's in DMs. I'm gonna start calling everyone. Oh, Jesus Christ, don't do that. Don't do that. But, yeah, if you have an open DM with somebody, if, say, you DM'd them and they accept your DM request, or y'all, like, follow people back and shit, like, that's, you know what I'm saying? That can be, like, the DM and shit. Hi, Kickstaff. That's not I don't think you Kickstaff, right? Nah, Kickstaff is with a K. That's just a verified channel. That's somebody that's verified. But it's like, the people build a parasocial relationship with themselves in their DM because they feel like they have an open line of communication with you. Please don't ever do that, bruh.
Tiptoeing into like some other small talk. It started to feel like he was interrogating me sometimes, where he'd be like, so what'd you do today? And I'd tell him, be like, oh, so like, you didn't really respond earlier. I thought you were just doing something really important,
Yeah,
but you were just hanging out at home.
See, you didn't respond. What the fuck do you mean doing? Like, I don't know you. Like, I'm not obligated to hold a conversation with you because I don't know. You know what I mean?
That's kind of weird. Like, what? Are you sure that's all you're doing? I was like, brother, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'm just not like always on Skype. He's like, oh, no, that's fine. You just didn't respond to me. And then he'd start gradually asking more and more questions, like questions you would ask someone on like the most awkward first date imaginable if you were some kind of Reddit mod. He'd be like asking me certain things like about anime and just like general interests and shit. And this is right before I had graduated college. I was still in college because I remember he was asking me about how my schooling was going. And I was like, yeah, I mean, it's going well. How's your project going? And he'd tell me some shit that I know wasn't happening. He's like, oh yeah, I got a lot of work done today on the game. I was in C#, really just fucking in my flow state. I took like the limitless pill, and man, I programmed fucking 15 trees, and I have 17 actors doing mocap for me, and they're all martial arts specialists, so the hack and slash animations are top notch. And I was like, oh, that's awesome. Do you have like that script or anything ready? He's like, oh, it's still being worked on. And then he just keep kicking that can down the road and change the topic of like, but enough about the game. Tell me about exercise physiology. What's that like? It's like, brother, you're not my mom. Like, why are you checking in like this? I don't care. And we're not really like close or anything. So why would you get upset if I don't like respond to you in a timely enough fashion? Like, it was just a disaster. So this went on for like a few weeks of this kind of stuff happening every couple of days, and I was ready to just wash my hands of it and just say, all right, this voice work isn't worth, I'm not getting the juice isn't worth the squeeze, as they say.
Facts.
So I kind of just started to let that peter out. I'd really very rarely respond to him, so he'd send me like a few messages over the course of like a week or two that I just would ignore. And then it got really bad. What? This guy was sending me, like, deep messages, and some of them just very unsettling. And then he eventually sent me a message talking about how he's about to end it all. And, he doesn't expect me to respond since I haven't responded in so long, but he just wanted me to know how much our friendship meant to him.
Yeah, there it is. There it is. There's yeah. And, like, it gets weird like that. Yeah, slip and slide, slip and slide. And like that shit is like, oh, you don't respond, so I'm off myself. What how did we get here? You see what I mean? How the fuck did we get here?
And all that. And
Parasocial.
I fucking freaked out, immediately responded to that when I saw it, and then he once again just switched gears and was like talking about my day and his day and this and that, and
Yep.
once again just going down this small talk and then like
Manipulation.
interrogating me like, well, why haven't you been responding? So that I had to come up with a story like, oh, just haven't been checking Skype for the last few weeks, you know, just stuff going on. He's like, oh, okay, yeah, no, okay, yeah, I'm sure, and then getting upset and whatever. I recommended him getting like professional help, which he claimed he was doing and seeking, but it wasn't really working. The only thing that really helped him was our little chit chats
Right.
back and
that
forth.
that always seems to be the little thing. That only thing that's helping is when I talk to you. You asked me how my day was, and I said that's fine. That's helping you mentally. Yeah. Okay. Pull that bullshit somewhere else.
So obviously I kept that door open, and luckily the frequency of his messages was much slower. So over the course of a few months now, the messages were far less often. So it wasn't that big of a deal, but it still just felt miserable to keep this communication open. It felt like a hostage situation where like if I didn't respond, he might do something, and it was scary. And as this continued for quite some time, he'd make threats occasionally of harming himself if I didn't respond in like a fucking speedrun fashion to one of his messages. When I got into a relationship, he sent a really creepy message about like, well, is it serious? Why is it serious? What do you see in her? That kind of thing. Like, it was all really alarming shit. And I'm not going to keep boring you with details here, but similar to how Pokimane didn't immediately fire that guy because she like felt bad for him or was like a little afraid of what might happen or whatever, it's easy to take a step back when you're not involved in it and just be like, oh, this is what you should have done.
wouldn't
But
wear
when
your
you're
skin
actually in
right.
one of these like really
puts the lotion
weird
on its
fucking
skin.
situations on like a personal level here,
The
it's just a
fuck?
little harder to do that. So I do understand that, but again, definitely the right course was firing that guy. In my situation, eventually what I did was I just stopped responding. If he did send me one of those messages, I would reply just telling him he needs professional help, and I won't talk further about these kind of things with him because I am not a professional. I'm not equipped to deal with that or handle that or help him in any way. He needs real help. And that would be how I'd respond to those messages when he sent them, and he eventually stopped. But that went on for a long time. But yeah, anyway, just kind of wanted to talk about all this. That's about it. See ya.
That's crazy, man. These people, bro. Some parasocial people out here, bro. It really is. Really some parasocial motherfuckers. Can't read the room.